So hello everyone. This week we're going to continue the topic spreadsheets. So last week we have introduced the basic knowledge about spreadsheets, why it is important and why we have to learn spreadsheets. Then we have talked about how to perform like calculations, how to use formula, equation, how to use functions in Excel, and also something about spreadsheet layouts and formatting. And I think that according to the tutorial last week, now you have some knowledge about how to use spreadsheets. This week, we're going to talk about some more details about spreadsheets. So I will start with the chart. I will talk about several charts in Excel, then followed by scenarios and solvers, which is not important topic in spreadsheet. And finally, we'll introduce something about the spreadsheet design. So that's the topic for today's lecture. Chart, scenario, and solvers later, followed by spreadsheet design, including cell naming, data validation, worksheet and views, and some other advanced features. So in order to understand the spreadsheet better, you are encouraged to read the following materials. Some are from our textbook, and the other may be some other useful online material. So first is the chart. So we know that the purpose to use spreadsheet is to analyze data, to do the data processing. But it can be very difficult to interpret this spreadsheet, which contains a lot of data. So in order to understand the meaning behind those data, we can use a very powerful tool called chart. A chart allows you to illustrate your spreadsheet data graphically and make it easy to visualize comparison and trends, and help your audience understand your points. So a chart in spreadsheet is also called a graph. There is a variety of different chart formats in Excel, such as pie chart, bar chart, line chart, scatter, radar, donuts, bubble, stock, and even more. And with Excel, it is very easy to create a chart, but it also requires some skills to make some beautiful charts contains the information you want. So in this lecture, we'll focus the following, the first 5 charts, since they are the most popular charts in Excel. So let's talk about pie chart first. So pie chart in Excel is also called the circle chart. It is often used for displaying the contribution of each value to the total. So we can directly see the numerical proportion. Therefore, it always uses only one data set. And it can also use the positive value. So there's no 0 or negative value in pie chart, since 0 value cannot be seen in pie chart. And there's no called negative proportion. So that's the reason. And let's see how to make a pie chart first. So in order to create a pie chart, first you need to have the information in your spreadsheet, or the names and the numbers, and select all the cells you want to put in your pie chart. Then click Insert, find the pie chart, and there's many different types of pie charts. So you can use, now we just use the most simple one, 2D pie. See, now it's automatically generated with all the legends. But in this pie chart, you didn't see the percentage of each part. So to show this, you just need to go click here double click and select quick layout. Then you can select different information you want to put in your pie chart. So we can here you choose this one. No. Yeah. In this way, you can have the pie chart. So there's some skills to pie charts. Is to create a pie chart to show more details of a pie chart. For example, want to have a breakdown and to show more things about one proportion. In this case, in the ledger item, we have more details about this ledger, traveling bar, cinema, and gaming. So how can we create a pie chart? First, we do the same, we just select all the cells, and by clicking the insert, find, instead of this one, we choose this one, pie of pie. But you may notice that the second plot only includes 3 parts, but actually you want to have 4. So how can we change that? So I need to click here. On the right hand side, you will see this series options. Then you will have to change the values in the second plot from 3 to 4. Then you can see that now it's 4. Then you need to add the value. So same thing, click quick layout and show this. So in this case, we can create a pie chart to show more details. And then you can make your pie charts like fancier, like you can change your style. Like for example, like link this one, it's kind of like a 3D effect. Then you can also highlight some parts, make it visible. And also you can change the font of each part, make size larger. Yeah, so in this way you can create a quite good looking pie chart. Okay, let's talk about the second type of chart, which is bar charts. So the bar chart is a type of a graph that is used to display, compare the number, frequency, or other measure for different discrete categories of data. The bar charts can be plotted vertically or horizontally. A vertical bar chart is sometimes called a column chart. A bar chart is one of the most commonly used type of a graph because they are simple to create and very easy to interpret. And they are also a very flexible chart type, and there are several variations of the standard bar chart, including the grounded or component charts or stacked bar charts. So in this slide, we have an example of a use bar chart to show the reasons of being late for class. So according to the bar chart, we can see that the reason I forgot to cite them along is the most used reason to be late, which is very clear. And the second reason used for to be late is I got stuck in the traffic. So that's why we're using the bar chart to compare different values easily. So to use the bar chart, we can have a more advanced usage. So in this case, we have the sales team has a target and the sales number in different season. So to use the bar chart, you can see like immediately what's the target and does everyone meet the target and what's the sales number in different season, just in one chart. So that is very clear. So let's see how to create a bar chart. And here's the spreadsheet already. We got all the reasons for being late for class and the corresponding frequency. So to create a bar chart, same as before, we select all the cells, click insert, find the corresponding chart, which is a column or bar chart. Then you can choose the vertical one and the horizontal one. So for the vertical, you'll notice that all the text, they are like all stuck together. It will be hard for us to read. That's why you can choose the horizontal one. For the horizontal, there's 2D and 3D bar. So we can choose 3D, which looks a bit nicer. So just one click that we can create our bar chart. And then you'll notice in each bar, there's no number. So it will be hard for us to understand the frequency for each item. Then we just need to click on any bar, right click, click add data labels. Then you will see that all the numbers are shown now. It will be very clear to see the frequency to each region. So let's see how to create a little more complicated bar chart. So in the example, in the slides, we have to use one bar chart to show the sales information for all the teams. So for all the teams, if they have a sales target and a sales number for each season. So how can we do that? So as before, we select all the cells, click insert, and find the bar chart. So this time we will choose this one. It's called the stacked column chart. So this bar chart is different from the previous bar chart. So you can see that all the values for each teams, they are not like separated in different bars. They put together in one bar. So first we need to find the sales target. By clicking this one, you can see that it is corresponding to this part, which means that this bar means the sales target. But we want to make this a different bar, which is different from those sales number for the 4 seasons. So to do that, we click the blue one, then right click, format data series, and here you'll see that we just click here the secondary axis. Then you will see that now the bar information for the sales target become a second bar. But the problem is that it kind of overlaps with the other sales numbers. And then we should make it transparent. So to do this, we click here and click no fit. And also click here. Border, given its color like blue, and width, let's make it thicker. And also for the gap, can make it like a little wider. So in this case, you can see that that's the sales target, and the rest is the sales number for the whole year for each team. So you can easily see which team has meet their target, which team does not, and what's the sales number for each season. And to make the same as the layout and format to the exam in the slides, we have to change the colors to each bar. So I won't do it here, you can do it by yourself. So let's continue with our third type of chart, which is line chart. A line chart has many other names, such as a line plot, line graph, or curve chart. This type of chart is used to display information as a series of data points called markers, connected by straight line segments. It is also a very basic type of a chart in many fields. A line chart is often used to visualize a trend in data over intervals of time. Usually it can include just one single line for one data set, or multiple lines to compare two or more sets of data. So this line chart example is to show the house price in capital cities in Australia from year 2000 until year 2018. So from this chart, you can see that the overall price increased for all the cities. But the most expensive cities are still Melbourne and Sydney, which makes sense. And the price in Sydney is still much higher than Melbourne. And we can see from the figure that like between year 2012 and 2014, the price in Darwin is kind of more expensive than Sydney and Melbourne. So that's probably a big surprise to the people. But in the recent years, the price in Darwin started to decrease a lot. But not for the Sydney and Melbourne. They're still increasing. So the line chart gives us a very clear view about the trends. So it helps us to make a decision for the future. So here is another example for the line chart. So this line chart is about the ranking of a different programming language. And it's based on the popularity of each programming language. From line chart, we can see that after year 2004, Java is the most popular language. So only 1 year, 2014, stays the top. Otherwise, Java is the most popular for the rest of the year. And so the second most popular is the C language. Even from the last century, C is always on top. So there's another interesting trend is the popularity of Python. So after the year around 2000, Python became more and more popular. Until now, Python is the fourth most popular language in the world. And the line chart tells us another very interesting trend. So it's about the very old programming languages called the Lisp. Lisp was very, very popular from like last century, like even in the year 2088. It's the second most popular language. But until now, since last year, it seems that no one is using this old language. So line chart gives us a very clear view about the trend for each programming languages. So that's the strength of the line chart. So let's learn how to create line chart to show the rankings of a programming language. Firstly, select all the cells, insert, and choose the right line chart. Here you have many options. You just need to use the normal one in this case. Make it bigger. Now you may notice this line chart is not what we want, since we want to see the trend so through the years. But in this case, in the horizontal axis, they are all the names of the different languages. To change that, so just click on the chart, then click here, switch row and column. Now it's the line chart we want, so we can see the trend. But we are more used to see the trend, the ranking from top to the bottom. So the most popular will be shown on the top. So less popular will be shown in the bottom. To do that, you need to reverse the ranking. So click here on the vertical axis, right click, and click Format Axis. Then you find here the values in reverse order. Okay, now this line chart is what we want to show the rankings of different programming languages through 3 years. So let's see the next chart, which is a scatter chart. So scatter chart is also called scatter plot or scatter graph. A scatter chart uses dots to represent the values for 2 different variables. So the position of each dot on the horizontal or vertical axis indicates the values for an individual data point. Scatter charts are often used to find out the relationship between 2 variables. So here is an example about different people, salary, and their car price. So we can use the scatter chart to find out the relationship between the people's salary and their car price. So by using the scatter chart, we see that the people has higher salary usually have a very expensive car. So in the reverse way, if these people has a very low income, their car is also very cheap as well. So by using scatter chart, we can easily find the relationship between these two variables. So some people may get confused about the scatter chart and line chart because scatter chart may look very similar to line chart if we connect those dots together with lines. But we should be very clear that line chart is usually used to show the trend, but scatter chart is always used to show the relationship. So in this example, we have our daily rainfall number and the particulated number in the year 2018 from January to September. So by using line chart, we can directly see the trend of a rainfall volume and the particulated value within these months. So, but can you see the relationship between these two variables in this line chart? Maybe you can guess. Maybe you can guess because when the rainfalls increase, then the particulate value drop. But it's not obvious. You need to guess. So that's why we should use scatter chart to find out this. So now I will tell you how to draw these two charts, both line chart and scatter chart. So this line chart is kind of different from the previous one because we have two lines and we have two vertical axes, if we notice that. So how to do that? So firstly, we can select the first two column and insert and choose the line chart. And later we can click here and right click and select data. Then we add some new data, the name and the series data. We'll change from here to here. And click OK. Then we want to make a different vertical axis. Right click, format series, and second axis. So now you will have two vertical axes in the same line chart. So about the scatter chart, let's first delete this one. So the scatter chart is much easier. You just select the relevant cells, insert, find the scatter. So you can choose only the dots, or you can connect those dots with the smooth lines, which will help you to better understand this kind of a relationship. So in this case, we just use the lines. Then we can add the values to each dot. So that's a scatter chart. So let's move on to our last chart, named radar chart. So radar chart is also called spider chart, polar chart, web chart, or star plot. It is a way to visualize multi-variate data. So usually radar chart is used to plot one or more groups of values over multiple common variables. So they do this by giving an axis for each variable. And these axes are arranged radially around a center point and spaced equally. The data from a single observation are plotted along each axis and are connected to form a polygon. So radar chart is often used to show and compare different properties of one single object. So, and here is an example from a famous game called Street Fighters. Maybe you have heard of that before. And so by using a radar chart, we can easily see the differences between different characters. So for the character Rune, from the radar chart, you can see that he's very good at power, but not very good at techniques, which is very different from the character named Chun-Li. She's super good at the techniques and the mobility, but not good in health and power. So the other character is called Bison. So he's very good at both power, mobility, tactics, and not too bad for the range and health as well. So that's why we call Bison a boss character. So by using radar character, we can easily see the difference between different characters and choose which one is the best for us. So right now, you have learned all the important charts in Excel. So hopefully you are able to choose the correct chart in the different scenario. Let's move on to the next topic, which is a scenario and a solver. So now I'm going to teach you another important tool called the what if analysis. So what if analysis in Excel allows you to try out different values or scenarios for your formula. So this tool is usually used when you have different scenarios. Then in each scenario, you have different values, but you want to compare the outcome of these scenarios. So this tool will help you quickly see the difference and then make your decision faster. So let me show you how to do this. So in this example, let's assume that you are looking for jobs. But actually, you got 3 jobs in different places. So one in Sydney, one in Melbourne, and one in Bendigo. But you don't know which one to choose. So let me help you to make a decision by using this kind of a what if analysis tool. So let's start. First, we need to create different scenarios. First, you need to click the data tag here and find what if analysis tool. Click on scenario manager. Then we can add the scenario here and click add scenario name, job in Sydney, changing cell. So we'll change different places. So what is changing? Of course, salary are different, rent are different, food could be same in the 3 places, transportation must be different, phone, internet could be same, social different, shopping different, entertainment, let's keep it same, and the last one also the same. Then click here. So in Sydney, your salary is 6,000. Let's say the rent, because rent in Sydney is kind of expensive. Let's say 1,600 per month, which is quite a reasonable value. Then it's the transportation. Probably you need to spend probably, let's say 200 per month. Then it's the social, because there's many activities in Sydney, so probably you need to spend like 500 in social. Last, the shopping. So you have too many shopping malls in Sydney, so probably if you like buy clothes or some other products, probably need to spend like, let's assume 300 per month. So that's job in Sydney. Let's create another one, job in Melbourne. So the changes are the same. Just click. Salary in Melbourne is less than Sydney, let's say 500 per month. So the housing price, the rent is also cheaper than Sydney, so let's say 1,200 per month. Transportation, kind of similar, let's say 200. Social in Melbourne is also the same as in Sydney as well, so let's say 500. So shopping, this is the same. Finally, is the jobs in Bendigo. Same changing cell. So the jobs in Bendigo has the least the salary, 5,000 per month, but the rent in Bendigo is much lower. Let's say 800 per month. for the transportation, you know that here in Bendigo, everything is 10 minutes by car. So probably you just need to spend probably like for me, $80 per month, fine enough. And for the social, because in Bendigo probably we don't have so much like activity, so you can save some money. Let's say like 250 per month shopping, since we don't have so many big shopping malls here. So when you have like Kmart and Big W, so we can save some money on that. Let's say 150. So now we have 3 different scenarios. So how can you make a decision? So you can click on each scenario and click show. Then you'll see that how much money you left per month. Then in Melbourne, and then in Bendigo. It seems that in Bendigo, you have the most leftover per month. And you can even make a summary of these scenarios by clicking summary. So now you see that the jobs in Bendigo gives the most money. So that's why you should stay in Bendigo, right? So that's the use of a what if analysis. So you can easily change the value between different scenarios and make your decision much faster. So let's move on to the next interesting tool called GoSeek. So GoSeek is another tool under the what if analysis module. It is a method of solving for desired output by changing an assumption that drives it. So let me show you how to use that. So in this example, your target is to save about $50,000 per year. And here's your budget. The problem is that you don't want to sacrifice your life. So you want to keep all the expenses same as before. But currently you only earn 50,000 per year. Definitely you cannot achieve your goal. Now it's good time to use the tool GoSeek to find out how much money you have to earn per year to achieve your goal. So let's start. We can start by clicking here, GoSeek. So first we need to set our target. So that's the target, the final balance. Then the value, let's input 50,000 by changing the salary. Click OK. Then the Excel will start to search what value as income can achieve your goal. Finally, the value is found. So we have to earn about nearly 100,000 per year to achieve a goal. So that's the usage of GoSeek. So let's move on to the next topic, the spreadsheet design. In the spreadsheet design, first we'll talk about the cell naming. So why should we name a cell? Because by default, a cell has no name or just its location, such as A2, C4, D8, something like that. So this kind of a cell location is very hard for us to remember. So if we have too many cell references, it means that we have to memorize all these cells location, which seems impossible. So it will also increase errors for those developers, since they need to memorize all these locations as well. And it will be a nightmare for the Excel maintenance as well. So that's why we should give names to those important cells. So now I'll show you how to do the cell naming. For example, this value indicated the gross pay value. If I want to do the cell reference, what I need to do is to enter the cell location. So as I mentioned, it will be very hard to memorize all the cells location. So how to make things easier? To do that, we can rename this cell. So first we click here, and here we just give it a new name like a pay. So next time when you do the cell reference, you don't need to enter the cell location. Instead, just need to type its name, like pay. Now you will get the value. So that's much easier and faster, right? So that's the way to use the cell naming. So let's move on. Data validation. So why do we need to do the data validation? Because there might be too many types of values in the Excel file, such as characters and positive value, negative value, or percentage value, or data information, and more. So usually users are required to enter the correct values in different cells. However, we are normal human beings, so we always make mistakes and enter the wrong number into the Excel. So in order to prevent this from happening, we can set rules to different cells and only allows correct value to be entered. So that is called the data validation. So now I will show you an example about the data validation. Let's go back to this budget example again. For example, the tax rate. Theoretically, the tax rate should be a percentage value between 0 and 1. And how to prevent the user to enter a wrong number. Now we can use the data validation techniques. So then first we need to click the value, then go to the data and the data validation. Now we need to fill in the data type as a decimal, and the data should be between 0 and 1. Now this data has been validated. We can try different value. For example, 0 is okay, 100% no problem, and there's something in between. But if you want to enter like 200%, then it will give an error because this value have already exist the range we have defined. So that is the data validation. So let's move on. The next one is worksheets and views. So we can add comments to different cells to help other users or developers to maintain the spreadsheet. And also we can protect our spreadsheet. So once our spreadsheet is locked and protected, and no one can change the value. So I will show you how to do that. So let's go back to this example again. So for the rent, we want to add some comments. Then we can go to review, add comments. Then we can add like 360 per month means like $90 per week. So next time, some others can understand what to mean by 360 per month. And next is how to protect our spreadsheet. So usually all the cells can be protected. You just need to right click, go to the cell format cells, and go to protection, and you can just lock this cell, or you can go to the other cell and unlock this cell. But by only doing this does not take effect. Only after you protect the whole sheet. In here, view, click protect sheets. Okay. Now you are not able to change the value, which is this cell is locked, but you can still change the value in this cell which is not protected. So that is the worksheet protection. So let's move on to our last topic, advanced features for but here I just only want to mention one or two, which is I think is kind of important. So first one is called the pivot table. Pivot table is one of the most powerful and intimidating functions in Excel. So why is it powerful? Because it can help you summarize and make sense of a large data set almost immediately. So a pivot table allows you to extract significance from a large and detailed data set. I will show you an example. So in this spreadsheet, there's a lot of information. It's about a company has a different branch in different cities, and they have different types of their product, and what's the sales information through the whole year, and how much they sell each time, and what's the sales revenue and the costs. So how can I know, like for each city and for each month, what's their costs? How can I get this feature immediately? So this can be done by pivot table. So I forgot to let you know that actually this is a very, very large Excel file. Contains about like more than 1,000 rows. So how to do that immediately? First, let's select all the columns, go to insert and pivot table. Just need to click. And here you have a new sheet. Then you click date, region, you put date here and region there. Then you click the cost. Then you like immediately show that what's the cost each month in the different cities, same as sales revenue. So what's the revenue in each city in each month? So this is super efficient by using pivot table. Actually, there are many more skills about using pivot table, so I won't like describe here. So if you feel interested, you can investigate it by yourself. So the second advanced features is Visual Basic and the macros. So Visual Basic applications, short for VBA, can further enhance the spreadsheet functionalities. So you can do some small programming by using Visual Basic to achieve even more complicated functions in spreadsheet, which is sometimes very helpful. Same as macros. So you can use macros to do some recording, and this will help you to further improve your efficiency by using spreadsheets. Since these two features is even more complicated, so I don't have time to here to introduce these two. So if you feel interested, you can spend some time at home and to learn by yourself. So that's the end for today's lecture. Thank you so much.